I didn't mean it all the way. You know what I mean? Does anybody know what I'm talking about? But tonight, when I talk about Jesus, I'm talking about something that I believe. I'm talking about something that I've experienced. I'm talking about something tonight that I think is worth my time talking about. Because I've heard a lot of people's testimony, and I love them. And I love hearing people's testimony about how they gave their life to Jesus and He changed their life. But for me, I have the opposite testimony. I grew up in church. I gave my life to Jesus at a very young age. And for whatever reason, figured out a way to stay really close to the edge most of the time. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? There's an attitude that comes along with that I'm going to talk about tonight. Before I do that, I'll just simply say this. There's something about being right there on the edge where you feel like you're okay. You feel like you're still good, you feel like you're still in place, but I never really knew where the end of the edge was, and I just kept falling off. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? And one time I fell off so hard and hit this place called rock bottom. See, I know what it is to be a Christian. Some people theologically would say, well, you weren't really a Christian then, and that's okay. If that makes you feel better and sleep better at night, you can believe that. But all I know is there was a sheep and it was lost, and he went out and found it. I know there was a prodigal son, and he was a son before he left, and he was the son after he left, and he was the son when he came back home. So you do whatever theology makes you feel better about it. What I will say is this. I know what it's like to be a Christian and be in a police car more times than I can count. I know what it's like to be a Christian, to be in a jail cell, in a courtroom and say, yes, I'm guilty. I know what it's like to have my face on the 6 o'clock news. It was not a good picture. I looked like a terrorist. No offense to any of the terrorists here in the room tonight. I'm sure you're great. I know what it's like. I know what it's like for the people that I love the most to find out everything there is to know about me. But you know what else I know? I know what it's like to have redemption.
Yeah.
I know what it's like to have victory. I know what it's like to be clean. I know what it's like to wake up with no secrets. Do you know what I mean? That's the thing about Christians. When we fall, we don't want to tell anybody because we're afraid somebody will say, I thought you were a Christian. Can I tell you right now, man, the most courageous and most brave thing you can do when you're a Christian and you're in trouble and you're falling and you're in addiction or you need help is to open up your mouth and say, I need help. One of the best days of my life was when I looked in the eyes of another man who said, I have been where you have been. And I got you. I got you. And so tonight, I want to encourage you. I want to encourage you wherever you're at to be brave and to have courage wherever you are, to be honest with yourself. Because I remember in my deepest and darkest moments of addiction, I would stand in services, quote unquote, like this, and I would feel God calling me and saying, it's time to get right tonight. And I would go, I want to, but I didn't. And tonight He's going to call you, and I'm going to ask you just to respond, all right? Because He gave me chance after chance after chance after chance after chance until finally He said, I'm giving you one last chance. I'm going to throw you down to rock bottom, and that's it. And at rock bottom, I said, I hear you now. I hear you now. You have my full, undivided attention. And there were times, man, along that way that I felt like I don't want to go on anymore. There were times that I felt like, man, I don't think I want to wake up anymore. I get behind the wheel of a car. I don't know if anybody knows what this is like. And I was like, I wasn't brave enough to commit suicide or take my own life. And so I would pray things like, God, just let a car come across the road and just hit me. I can't make it anymore. I don't want to wake up anymore. I don't even know who I am anymore. Just get me out of here. So I don't know if anybody has ever faced those kinds of temptations. I don't know if anybody has ever faced those kinds of trials and those kinds of struggles in your life here tonight. But mine was from shame. And some people, it's from all kinds of different reasons. Maybe you feel alone. Maybe you feel invisible. Maybe you feel like you don't matter. Maybe you feel like if you did not wake up tomorrow that no one would even miss you and no one would even realize that you're gone. I don't know what has brought on that temptation for you, but here's what I can tell you as a matter of fact, that your life has meaning, that your life has purpose, that God made you for a reason. I can tell you here tonight that if you woke up with breath in your body, what that means is that God is not finished with your life yet. Everybody put your hands up in the air, sing it. Shout it from the road, God. Is where the pain begins.